The red lights go on. They go out now. It's a pretty good start by Craig Land. A sluggish start, though, from David Hitchin. And he's going to lose places. Maybe today is not going to be the day for that first win. It's Eddie Moyer that's blasted through into second place. Martin West is third. But Craig Land has got a half-decent advantage as they head into the banking for the first time. He goes very wide, though, does he? And yes, he's all over the grass, so Eddie Moyer moves through to take the lead. The rest, I said it was a half-decent advantage. Well, it's right at the back of the field. Now there's a spinner in the mid-pack. Everyone just about manages to avoid them, and they continue on. But it is Eddie Moyer leading the way then from Martin West in second place. Ben Powney is third. It's David Hitchin in fourth, and it's Todd Boucher that has spun as well, coming out of Church Corner. But here are the leaders heading up towards Rocket for the first time. There's Boucher stuck on the grass there on the exit of Church Corner. He's trying to find his way back onto the circuit. But there's the first four. Bit of a gap back to the rest. It's the 4 and the 17 car that are next up. Ben Dade is involved in that, as it too is David Martin.
Yes, so a really jumbled order we will have at the end of lap number 1 then. David Hitchin making a really poor start from the front row of the grid. Did appear to jump and then stop and then went, and as is so often the case, that actually ends up leading to a very slow start rather than any sort of advantage gained. But anyway, he lost positions out of it. He certainly has it all to do now, and he's not the only one, is he? Recovering from earlier dramas. Down through the corkscrew we come for the first time of asking them, and towards the completion of the opening lap of the race. The race being led by car number 77, and that is Eddie Moyer, who started 5th on the grid, leading from Ben Powney 2nd, Martin West 3rd, Hitchin is there in 4th, Benjamin Dade in 5th, David Martin 6th, and the rest coming through. So the ones to watch really, the likes of Craig Land, 8th position after that off that he had up at the banking on the opening lap. What progress can he make from there?
Yeah, well, we'll see how things can progress for him. So Todd Boucher, the only driver that's yet to come through, is about to do so now. So all 16 cars are still circulating as David Hitchin gets alongside Martin West then for 3rd place, and he goes through at Church Corner. And Ben Dade, I think that is, not too far behind them either in the Jonathan Lister car. He's been getting some coaching from Jonathan Lister, the 2-time champion as well. Here comes Martin West back up the inside of the 54 car into the braking area for Rocket, and he gets back ahead of Hitchin now and back into 3rd place. You can see Ben Powney up ahead of him is the farmer from Lincolnshire, Eddie Moyer, who's going very well, and that's Ben Dade. That's not what Jonathan Lister told him to do. He's gone straight on up at Rocket, and possibly actually a problem with the car rather than a problem with the driving on that occasion. But Ben Dade possibly is going to be out of the race. We'll keep an eye if he's able to rejoin. But the race goes on for everybody else, though. There's 12 minutes of it to go. Eddie Moyer leading by about a second and a half as they come back down towards us over Ben Powney in 2nd. The rest of the field filtering their way through the corkscrew, including Craig Land, who was 8th at the end of lap 1. Where's he going to be at the end of lap 2? Over the line he goes now, and he's up to 5th. 3 places made up. Obviously one of those was getting past the stricken car of Dade.
Yep, so across the line goes David Martin then at the front of this group. Ayrton Rogers behind him as they battle over 8th position. Side by side further up the order. Is that for 3rd position? 3rd it is, yes. Martin West and David Hitchin. Hitchin going through. Just found so much more grip on the outside line up at the banking, and he is into P3. Now, what pace does he have in clean air? At the beginning of the lap, 5.2 seconds he was adrift of the race leader. But now in clean air, he'll be looking to try and bridge that gap as swiftly as possible. So Moyer leading then, Powney 2nd, West 3rd, Hitchin 4th. This is the big battle pack, though, heading out of Church Corner. And it looks as though Ayrton Rogers has found a way past David Martin as they head towards what certainly, Ian, is a yellow flag zone.
Yeah, and that's because we've got marshals working trackside to try and get Ben Dade's car either into a position of safety or back into the race, one or the other. Either way, yellow flags there which the driver should be observing. They mean no overtaking. You're supposed to slow down and be prepared to stop, especially in conditions such as these. There's number 99, Martin Shelton. He's in 6th place at the moment. And then you've got this battle going on a bit further back. That's Callum Barnes and David Bowen in the number 25 car. I think they're battling over about 10th position as things stand. Eddie Moyer, the race leader, has done the fastest lap, a 1:29.967. Quickly beaten, though, by David Hitchin, a 1:29.616. He's now got a 2.5 second lead or so over Martin West, who had that moment at the banking on the previous lap. So can Hitchin get his head down and start to take the fight to the top two. Talking of fights, there on the inside goes David Bowen to get 9th place away from number 3, Callum Barnes.
Yep, that was a good move made. Difficult to make an overtake on the inside at target, as we've seen a few times today, but he made that look relatively easy and sails on by into 9th position. The fastest lap then for Hitchin, that was 0.3 quicker than the race leader, so he's 3.2 seconds behind Powney, who ran an almost identical lap actually to the race leader last time around, but Hitchin 0.3 faster. We'll watch that gap with interest, see whether or not he's able to continue closing in. This meanwhile the fight for 6th position, Martin Shelton versus Lucas Batt heading towards Rocket. Again, you can see them all breaking on that inside line, staying off the traditional racing line, which is rubbered up and very slippery in the wet. So you tend to see drivers braking to the inside of the usual racing line, even if they're not engaging in wheel-to-wheel battle with anybody. And Martin Shelton doing just that, keeping Lucas Batt behind him for now. But they've dropped away some distance, haven't they, really, from those top 5 drivers who are coming towards the completion of lap number 4.
Yeah, over the line goes Eddie Moore, and his lead has been eroded by Ben Powney, because Ben Powney did briefly the fastest lap of the race, 1:29.5. Hitchin went faster still, though, so the lead is 1.4 seconds. And there you can see Martin West has Craig Land right behind him. Lucas Batt is right with Martin Shelton as well, so there's lots of good battles going on all the way down the field here. They're battling over 6th position, as Hitchin now with the best lap of the race, 1:29.088, and we've got a yellow flag because Callum Barnes has just spun in the general direction of the pit wall, but he's got the car going again. Yeah,
got it stopped before he hit the pit wall, crucially, but I wonder whether he just got a wheel out onto that exit curb, which is not advisable, really, in these conditions. So, Hitchin with another fastest lap out in front, that time 0.6 quicker than the race leader, so he's now 4.1 off the lead, 2.7 behind Powney. As here up towards the top of the hill, we've got the battle for 4th position. Martin West under threat now from a recovering Craig Land. Craig Land's previous lap, a 1:30.2, so he was 1.8 seconds quicker actually than Martin West ahead of him. All of them doing personal best laps at the moment, as the track conditions quite clearly are starting to improve, but Craig Land on the tail of Martin West. He is not quite running as quickly as the top 3, Craig Land, but quite a bit quicker than Martin ahead of him, so this shouldn't take too long to move into 4th position, but his prospects perhaps of improving upon that looking limited.
The lead gap has come down again. It was 1.4 seconds. I can tell you that it's less than that as the leaders go past my commentary box window. It's down to 1.1 seconds. And then there is Hitchin in 3rd, and then it is quite a gap back to Western Land, isn't it, in 4th and 5th positions now. There's 7.5 seconds from 3rd to 4th position. Hitchin a bit slower on that lap, but actually lost a bit of time to the 2 leaders. Here's this fight. Are we going to get the change here at the banking? Craig Land up on the inside of Martin West. And his car started to slide as he turned into the corner, and he wasn't able to get the move completed at the banking. He'll have another go perhaps as they head down towards the right-hander again at Church Corner. But yeah, not quite close enough there to attempt anything, so he'll try and pick up the toe, I would think, and make a move into Rocket possibly, Andy.
Yep, I think that's probably the plan. He wasn't quite close enough a lap ago up here, but much, much closer to the back of car number 94 this time. He sweeps to the left-hand side of the road, but actually Martin West with the shorter run through the kinks on the school straight keeps him behind once again. So this will be frustrating Craig Land a bit. He's definitely quicker than Martin West, but just can't quite find a way through. This is so often the case in these kind of conditions, where to overtake you have to go off that one really quick, slightly grippier line, and it can be difficult to actually complete the manoeuvre. So Martin West holding on. Craig Land will have to get inventive here probably in order to find a way through. Now the leaders, Ian, are coming off the final corner, absolutely nose to tail. Here they are. So Ben Powney has more or less completely caught Eddie Moyer now. David Hitchin's challenge seems to be fading, so with just under 6 minutes to go, could this be a 2-horse race between Moyer and Powney?
Yeah, Powney took 9/10 of a second out of Moyer on that lap, a 1:28.968, and he's trying to go around the outside at the banking. 1:17s were the times that we were seeing in yesterday's race, but of course very different conditions here today. The 2 leaders now side by side as they head down towards Church Corner. Is Powney? No, he's not quite alongside. He's going to try and go around the outside, if anything, at Church Corner, and it's going to work as well. An audacious move. He's got his nose ahead. Moyer back with his nose in front on the exit of the corner as they climb up the hill. It nearly worked. Not quite for Ben Powney. Moyer just about hangs on as they run up towards Rocket. But, yeah, Ben Powney has certainly put Eddie Moyer on notice there that he's in a great position now to challenge for victory with 5 minutes of the race left to go.
That was really clever driving that from Eddie Moyer. Not a lot of people seem to talk about side drafting in categories like this, but that's exactly what he did. It looked like Powney had cleared him off Church, and Moyer just packed a bit of air onto that right rear corner of Moyer's car. That slowed, Powney's car, slowed Powney down and allowed Eddie to drag back through into the lead. That was really clever because he had that position made there, did Powney, and Eddie Moyer's quick thinking kept him in front. And now you can see the way that David Hitchin is definitely taking some time out of them. That gap at the start of the lap from second to third was 3.8 seconds. It ain't 3.8 seconds anymore. Moyer leads by 4/10 with Hitchin 1.6 back, having set a new fastest lap at 28.391, 2 seconds quicker than the leaders. Admittedly, they were battling, but there's no doubt about it. David Hitchin, after a couple of poor laps, is right back on form.
Yeah, really bad start to the race for David Hitchin, but he's certainly taking the fight to the leaders now. And if he has another lap like the one before, it's going to be a 3-car fight for victory here. Moyer and Powney, the danger is that they get distracted battling each other. Is Powney going to try and make a repeat? No, he's not of what he did a lap ago. He's trying to think of something different this time to try to outwit Eddie Moyer, but certainly we can see from our comment box window, and we're about to see, I think, on screen as well, that Hitchin is much closer. There he is. He's edging towards the two leaders now as they head up towards Rocket, and very soon, Andy, it is going to be 3 cars for the lead.
Eddie Moyer very skitterish under braking there, just got the car stopped, but that was a little bit sideways. He locked the rear axle briefly. Well, this is boiling up very nicely, isn't it, in the closing stages? Very much not a 2-horse race, a 3-way fight for the win. Then Powney now really needs to get a move on, doesn't he? Because if he has to start watching his mirrors and defending from Hitchin, that will certainly hand an advantage to Eddie Moyer, who is wide at Peel Corner, but has the traction and the momentum on corner exit. Powney tries to go around the outside through the first part of the corkscrew. That gives him the inside for the second part, and that gives him the lead. So Ben Powney, perhaps a perfectly timed move for the lead, goes through, and now Eddie Moyer, you feel, has to retaliate straight away. Otherwise, he will be under threat for second place, and he is trying to retaliate. Looks to the inside into turn number 1, carries good speed into target, and gets the lead back, does he?
Oh, I'm not so sure, because Powney around the outside target is held onto it. And it's going to be really touching on whether there's 2 or 3 laps to go in this race, because they crossed the line at just about 3 minutes to go. Lap times are about 1.5 minutes. So we just need to keep an eye on to see if we get the last lap board at the end of this one, because that could be all important. But anyway, Powney has sealed that move now. Eddie Moyer's dropped down to second place. What of David Hitchin? Well, he's right there as well, isn't he? Very much a contender for at least second place, if not victory in this race, with 2, maybe 3 laps to go. He is pretty much equidistant now, the first 3, as they climb up towards Rocket for the 9th time in this race. Into the left-hander they're about to turn. More, a little bit closer to the back of Powney than Hitchin is on the way into the corner, but that sort of soon concertina's up as they go through this very slow, sinuous part of the circuit. And Hitchin, on the way out of it, looks to have gained a little bit of time through that section. Got close to the back of number 77, Eddie Moyer. They turn their way now out of Peel, down towards the corkscrew, looking to see if the last lap board is being made ready. It is being made ready. Is it going to be shown this time? The leader's heading through the corkscrew. No change in the order there. There's 1:38, 37, 36 to go. The last lap board, is it going to be shown or not? It is. So they're going to go on to their last lap, Andy.
Yeah, so 1 more lap to go, 1.55 miles of racing, and that's not really the news that David Hitchin wanted, because he's not got past Eddie Moyer yet, and really you feel would have had to have done that by now to have any chance of going after Powney, who is pulling away. Nearly 1.1 seconds now clear of this battle for second place. David Hitchin takes a very wide line through the banking. Look at the extra speed that gives him on corner exit, tucks into the slipstream. Ben Powney is starting to get away from these 2, but David Hitchin really wants to try and get at least into second place. Even if he hasn't got much chance of catching Powney now, he'll want second place before the flag, and he might realistically have 1 more chance to try and take it.
Yeah, so half a lap or so to go. Powney with a bit more of a gap over Moyer, and Hitchin there in 3rd. Still time for a late change here. Hitchin not looking to outbrake Eddie Moyer, though, up into Rocket. They'll have all seen, hopefully, that last lap board. Through the second part of Rocket they go. There's not too many car lengths between the 3 of them. Ben Powney it is, though, that has the advantage. He's already won twice this season, looking for his 3rd win of the year. Eddie Moyer's had 1. David Hitchin yet to have a victory this season. But as the time goes on, it's looking more and more likely that it's going to be the orange car, the man from Kent, Ben Powney, that's going to come through to take the victory here. Down through the final corner into the left-hander that ends the lap, and up and over the line they come. And it's Ben Powney that's going to hold on. He takes the victory. A very happy man indeed from Eddie Moyer in second and David Hitchin in third. And they're a long way ahead of anybody else. Martin West and Craig Land still disputing fourth place through the corkscrew for the final time. It's Land that's got his car just in front, which is a reverse from the positions at the start of the lap. And Craig Land, yesterday's winner, just about clings on for fourth place.
Craig Land had two wheels on the grass then coming down through the corkscrew. So close to the edge of the road was he coming out of the right-hand element, but it worked. He kept his foot in it and managed to claim fourth place. And look at this now for sixth position. Lucas Batt, Martin Sheldon and David Bowen. Is that going to be the order? No, Shelton gets sixth. And then a spin across the line. That was Bowen, wasn't it? Who lost control after the flag because he swerved over to the left-hand side of the road. He missed out on seventh place by 58 thousandths of a second. Obviously had his foot planted to the floor on the slippy side of the road and lost control completely. Another driver, I think, who can count themselves lucky that they don't have a damaged car.
Indeed, so Ayrton Rogers, racer, author, came home in ninth place. Lewis Pentone Smith, Sam McKee to 11th, Lee Rogers 12th, David Martin 13th, and Callum Barnes, I should say, despite that spin, he comes home in 14th place, and Todd Batch 15th, also having had a spin at Church Corner. Well, that was a very entertaining final race of the weekend for the Aim Shop Ma7da 7 Championship. They always deliver. Today, no exception to that. And we look forward to their next rounds of the championship, which will be at Snetterton next month. They also go to Brands, Mallory and Silverstone before the end of the year. But round 6 has now been completed, and it's been won by Ben Powney. He completed 10 laps in shade over 15 minutes, 1.439 seconds ahead of number 77, Eddie Moyer, so Powney in 37. Hitchin number 54 was third, fourth was number 87, Craig Land, fifth number 94, Martin West, sixth was number 99, Martin Shelton, seventh was number 66, Lucas Batt. David Bowen, that spin at the end after the flag, was eighth, number 25, ahead of Ayrton Rogers, number 79, and running out the top 10 was 47, Lewis Pentone Smith ahead of McKee, Rogers, Martin and Barnes, with one other finisher being Todd Boucher and Ben Dade. Unfortunately, a non-finisher on this occasion. So we have just the one more race to come before our lunch break here at Anglesey Circuit. That's going to be for the Mini 7s. But first of all, let's head down to Parc Fermé, and Kieran Mogg is there once again.
Well, we've got Ben Powney and David Hitchin having a moment here after that race. That was an absolutely incredible race, and we'll just wait to speak to Ben, which I've got to say, Ben, if there was ever a masterclass in overtaking in the wet, that must be it.
Yeah, I hope that it came off on camera because it felt good in the car. It felt really good in the car. Yeah, I love that race, to be fair. I've been praying for rain all weekend, and I thought if I don't deliver now, I'm going to be in a bit of trouble with the team, I think. So, yeah, well happy.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it looked like you had the pace throughout the entire race, really. Were you just kind of looking for the best opportune moment, or were you kind of strategizing and thinking, okay, is this the best opportunity for me to do it now?
Absolutely not. I was literally hanging on for dear life the whole way around. I was very conscious that Dave was probably quicker than us, I think, overall. He was catching us quickly in places. But, yeah, watching what Eddie was doing, learning, there was no strategy at all. Unfortunately, just go for it. And when an opportunity came, we took it. So, all good.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations on the win.
Thank you, mate. Nice one.
Thank you very much. We'll speak with Eddie. Eddie, so close. I mean, you guys were nip and tuck the entire way around.
Yeah, I mean, we've obviously got a tyre allocation for this year, and these are sort of older tyres in comparison to what we've got. A few other people running around us, so we're happy with the result that we managed to pull out the bats, considering it's so wet. Yeah, it was just amazing. Good race, and after the anti-roll bar snap yesterday, we were just hoping for some good points today.
We definitely got some good points. And do you think you can possibly take the win later?
We haven't got a race later.
I've got later. Sorry. Yeah, sorry. I can't remember what's the timetable. Next time, I mean.
Yeah, I enjoy Snetterton as a track. It's a really technical track like here. Hopefully, we can improve one more and get a win there and some more good points for the championship. So, yeah.
Absolutely, look forward to seeing it.
Grand, see you there.
Thank you very much. We'll just chat with David Hitchin. David, can we just jump in here a second? Oh, I don't know what's going on here. David, hello. Firstly, we didn't quite catch it on camera, but you just got absolutely drenched coming into...
Yeah, I did. Didn't quite see the puddle there. Ended up being a bit of a waterfall over me, but wasn't bothered. So pleased with the third.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you really had to fight for that one, and you were catching the leaders, every single lap. Surely that's... For the next race at least, that's obviously at the next round, that's given you the confidence that you can definitely go for it.
Yeah, I feel like the speed is there now, and I'm racing better. Getting stuck in with these guys and not being quite intimidated. But yeah, the speed is definitely there. And that race there, I was reeling them in really well, and maybe another lap or two. I think I could have perhaps had a move for the win, but I was happy with the third. Good points, and after yesterday, even better. So very pleased.
Absolutely, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Anyway, we've got a quick ad break because coming up next are the minis.